Okay, so let me quickly show you the live demo of the SharePoint workflow migration tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm just sharing my screen, and I hope you will enjoy this particular session. No. So if you are using the if you have installed the tool for the very first time, so this will be the first screen that will be displayed in front of you. Now, before I start using this particular tool, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the SharePoint Designer so that I can show you the workflows which I'm planning to migrate using this particular tool. So I'm just opening the SharePoint Designer. As you can see over here, 5 different SharePoint 2010 based designer workflows have been created. As you can see the name over here, like approval workflow, multi-if else, then invoice processing, then sequence test, right? All these workflows will be migrated to Power Automate using our own tool, right? So I'm going back to the tool. Now, as you can see over here, so in this particular screen, you can see 2 different inputs, right? One is the workflow version and one is the workflow type. Now, as we all know that this workflow, SharePoint Designer workflow can either be SharePoint 2010 Designer workflow or it can be SharePoint 2013 based workflow. So for this particular demo purpose, I'm planning to migrate SharePoint 2010 Designer workflows to Power Automate. So I'm selecting the version as SharePoint 2010. Similarly, this tool is intelligent enough to migrate both SharePoint Designer workflows as well as built-in workflows. But for this particular demo, I'm planning to migrate SharePoint Designer workflows. So from this particular drop-down, I'm selecting SharePoint Designer workflows. So once I'm done with my selection, so the next step I need to do, I need to click on this button called Take Me to the Migration Screen. So what I'll do, it will take me to the screen from where we can initiate the migration. Now, as you can see on the screen, there are a couple of inputs, right? The couple of fields where few inputs need to be entered. For example, the tenant, admin, URL, domain, Office 65 credentials, client ID, environment URL, etc. Believe me, it will not take more than 2 to 3 minutes of time, and this is going to be one-time activity, which means what I mean to say that if you are using the tool for the very first time, then only you need to enter these few details. That's it. Once you are done with this, for the subsequent run of this tool, you do not need to enter anymore. It will automatically pick up from the saved location. So for the interest of time, I've already entered this data. So what I'm going to do, I need to click on this button called Migrate Workflow. So once I do this, what it will do, it will start migrating all those workflows to Power Automate. And once the migration is done, I'll be able to see a migration summary where I can see a list of all the successful migration as well as failed migration. See, in the real life migration, there might be a situation where because of certain reason, right, one or two few workflows migration might get failed, right? You never know. So that is the reason what I have done, deliberately I have made some changes in one of the workflow so that workflow migration get failed, so that in the migration summary I can show you both successful migration details as well as failed migration details. And also you can see the live migration progress over here. So I am just clicking on this button called Migrate Workflows. As you can see over here, I can see the live migration progress. See, it's changing. Workflow 1, workflow 2, the third workflow, the fourth workflow. See, it's very fast. Within couple of seconds time, the 5 workflows have been migrated. In fact, as you can see on the migration summary, 4 workflows have been successfully migrated and 1 workflow migration got failed. As I already said, deliberately I have done that. So let me just quickly go back to the Power Automate and let me see whether all this workflow like approval test, multiple if-else, the invoice processing, like which got successfully migrated, right, which have been created in Power Automate or not. So I'm going back to Power Automate. So as you know that if you are creating the workflows dynamically using code, then those workflows will be available under solutions. And under solutions, there will be the option called default solution. And under here, like we'll be able to see our workflows. So let me start one by one. Our first workflow was workflow underscore test. Let us see whether the same exact replica has been created here in Power Automate. See, I can see this workflow is created 1 minute ago. So I just click on this and let me click on edit option to quickly see whether the workflow structure is successfully created or not. Fantastic. I could see enter workflow structure successfully created. So let me go back again and let me quickly test some of the other workflows which got migrated. So again, I go back to solutions. I click on default solution. I search for another one. I think the next name was a sequence test. One. Say, this is the one. It's created 1 minute before. So again, similar like first one, I'm going to click on create edit so that I can see whether the workflow structure has been created successfully or not. Safe. I can see the workflow structure has been created for this particular workflow as well. Let me go back to the another one. Again, go back to the solutions. Let me click on default solutions. I think that there was another workflow called multi if else. So see, this is created 2 minutes before. So this was the workflow created in SharePoint Designer where there was multiple if else condition. So what we have done, we have created this tool in such a way that if you have multiple if else condition in your SharePoint Designer workflow, it will automatically be transformed to switch case in Power Automate. See, let me see. If I just click on edit. Fantastic. See, I could see all the switch case one where multiple actions are there. This is case 2. This is case 3. This is case 4. See, the multiple if else have been transformed to switch cases. So that's all. So this was the quick demo of the SharePoint workflow migration tool. I hope you enjoy the session. If you have any kind of queries or clarification, you can directly drop me a mail or you can call me. My number as well as email ID is mentioned in my LinkedIn profile. Thank you very much. Have a nice day to you all.